Stamp 1 critical. That's the visa that everyone are looking for, or whenever they get their education visa in India, they are planning for Stamp 1 critical. Why? Because that's the deciding factor whether you will live in this particular country for a long period or not. So yeah, this is my story from stamp 2 education visa to stamp 1 critical skills visa, and I will let you know the process for each and every step, and maybe an overview about that. So yeah, without wasting any time, let's get started. Stamp 2. Stamp 2 is your education visa. Like whenever you are in India, you are applying for your Irish visa. Whenever you want to come for the first time, you will apply for the education visa, which is for 30 or 40 days period. So once you will come over here, you need to apply for your IRP card. And procedure for that is first you need to get an appointment from your local Garda station or from local immigration bureau. You need to go over there with your documents. In documents, you will require your passport, your medical insurance, letter from your university, kind of letter of attendance, and your address proof, kind of agreement, or maybe if you already open a bank account, then that is also fine. So that's the document that are important for your IRP card. Even I already created one video on that on my old channel, so I will put the link in description. You can check that particular video as well. But that's not a main thing. Main thing is that what is stamp 2? Stamp 2 is your education visa where you can work 20 hours a week on a part-time basis, and on your holidays from December 15 to January 15 you can work full-time for 40 hours as well, and from June to September again you can work full-time in that 4 months period. So because that's your third semester, and technically people are doing internship, or maybe people are doing some research on thesis or anything, so they might need to work somewhere in some form, or maybe they might need to do research under any of the professor, and for that reasons government allows you to work 40 hours a week. So yeah, that's the scenario about stamp 2. That is clearly your education visa. Now stamp 2 is for 1 year, and it costs you around 300 euros for your IRP card. So that's the charges, and that's the documentation, and that's all about stamp 2. Now, stamp 1G. Stamp 1G is kind of a work permit, but maybe you can't say a proper work permit, because that is that is kind of a thing where government is giving you a promise that if you will take master's education over here in Ireland, and if you are coming from some other country, then you will get 2 years of stay back period over here in Ireland. In that period you can look for the employment, and then you can even do full-time work in that 2 years of period, and then yeah, I mean you can just get the employment work permit, which is the next step. So that's about the stamp 1G. Now once you will finish your masters, you get stamp 1G. That all knows. But there is one thing on that that people don't know, that after finishing up your second semester also you can get stamp 1G. Speaking about that, in Irish education, when you are doing your masters, in all the universities, the rule is that once you finish your second semester, you are eligible for PG diploma degree. If you don't want to go with your third semester, which is kind of an internship in some courses. In some course it is like research work, or in some course it is like a thesis work. So if you don't want to do that particular thing, you can just skip that part, and you will get the PG diploma degree, and with that degree also you can get a stamp 1G. Now once you finish your second semester, you can get a letter from your university that yeah, I finished my second semester, and then using that letter you can get stamp 1G as well. There are two scenarios. One is after second semester you get your stamp 1G, or wait for your third semester. Once you finish your third semester, it means once you finish your entire masters, you get stamp 1G. So whatever thing you can do, it's on you. Like some of the students, they might get the interview calls, and then the company person, they are asking them for stamp 1G. So if they are in their third semester, they can again get the stamp 1G using completion letter of second semester. And other than that, if you are not getting anything, then you can just wait till your master. वीडियो में आगे बढ़े उससे पहले मैं आपको एक बार अभी स्टूडेंट एकोमोडेशन सर्विस यूनिएको के बारे में बताना चाहता हूँ। यूनिएको में टोटल 6 मिलियन प्लस स्टूडेंट रजिस्टर्ड है और 140 कंट्रीज एंड अलग अलग कंट्रीज में वो एकोमोडेशन सर्विस प्रोवाइड करते हैं स्पेसिफिकली फॉर स्टूडेंट्स। यूनिएको की वेबसाइट में आपको अलग अलग टाइप के एकोमोडेशन लाइक स्टूडियो अपार्टमेंट, सिंगल रूम, डबल रूम, कोई भी टाइप का एनस्यूट रूम विद डिफरेंट फैसिलिटीज, ये सारी आपको चीजें एक ही वेबसाइट पे मिलती है। तो आप उसकी वेबसाइट पे जाके कोई भी जो भी सिटी में आप जा रहे हो उस पर्टिकुलर सिटी में आपको सिटी डालना है, नंबर ऑफ डेज आपको रुकना है वो, और कितने अमाउंट ऑफ पीपल है वो आपको एक बार डाल के उधर आपको लिस्ट मिल जाएगी जब सर्च करोगे तब। और उस लिस्ट के अंदर आप देख सकते हो कि कौन कौन से फैसिलिटीज अवेलेबल है पर्टिकुलर एकोमोडेशन में, कितने प्राइस में है वो चीज, और उसके आसपास कौन कौन सी अलग अलग दूसरी फैसिलिटीज अवेलेबल है। दूसरी बात, यूनिएको का सबसे बड़ा बेनिफिट ये है कि अगर आपका यूनिवर्सिटी में एडमिशन बाई चांस कुछ रीजन की वजह से रिजेक्ट हो जाता है, बाई चांस आप आयरलैंड ट्रैवल नहीं कर पाते हो पर्टिकुलर डेट पे, तो आपको वो फुल रिफंड दे देते हैं। उसमें कोई हिडन चार्जेस या कुछ नहीं होता है, जो भी आपने पे किया है वो आपको कंप्लीट रिफंड मिल जाएगा। ऑल्सो यूनिएको पे ग्रुप बुकिंग्स भी अवेलेबल है। अगर आपका कोई दोस्त है या आप पर्टिकुलर ग्रुप के साथ ट्रैवल कर लो 3-4 स्टूडेंट्स का, तो आप एक साथ बुक करा सकते हो और आपको एक साथ बुकिंग पे डिस्काउंट पे मिलते हैं। तो आप अपना जो एकोमोडेशन का प्राइस है उसको थोड़ा और रिड्यूस कर सकते हो। सो ये सारी फैसिलिटीज आपको एक ही वेबसाइट, एक ही सर्विस में मिलती है, वो है यूनिएको। सो अगर आप आयरलैंड आ रहे हो और आपको स्टूडेंट एकोमोडेशन की जरूरत है और कोई भी टाइप के एकोमोडेशन की जरूरत है, तो उसके लिए नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन में मैं लिंक डाल रहा हूँ यूनिएको का, उस पर क्लिक करके आप एक बार चेक कर सकते हो। हाउ टू गेट स्टैम्प 1G? सो यू नीड अ लेटर फ्रॉम योर यूनिवर्सिटी दैट either you finish your second semester or you finish your third semester. So you need that letter. You need medical insurance, you need your passport, and you need your address proof, mostly the bank statement. So yeah, that are the documents that are required to get your stamp 1G. Now, things that you can do on stamp 1G, you can work full time over here in Ireland. You can look for a job, you can do a job, or you can just stay over here. And stamp 1G you will get for 1 year initially, and then again you need to renew that particular thing for 1 more year. And if you are working over here, you can renew it using the employment letter. If you didn't get a job in the 1 year time frame, then you might got interview calls, you might apply to various companies. You can just take that particular thing with you whenever you are again renewing stamp 1G, and then you can again get a stamp 1G for the next year. So that's the thing, and documents will remain same. So that's all about stamp 1G. Now, what is the use of stamp 1G? So in most of the companies, once you will get the job, you will have 6 months or 3 months of probation period. So in stamp 1G you can just finish that particular part, and then you can again ask your company for stamp 1. So that's the main use of stamp 1G. And yeah, there are basically 2 use. One is probation and second is to look for the employment. So let's say after finishing your masters, it might take 1 or 2 months or maybe 3 months to get the job. So in that time frame you can work over here in, let's say, in restaurants or kind of part-time work you can do, and then you can look for the job as well. And once you get a job, you just do your probation period on stamp 1G. But the main use of stamp 1G is that in that time frame you need to get stamp 1 so that you can stay over here in Ireland. Otherwise, after finishing of 2 years, you don't have visa and you need to get back to your country. So yeah, that's the fact about stamp 1G. And one more thing is you can't engage in business when you have stamp 1G.
Maybe there's no love like the maybe there's no love like the maybe there's no love.
Now let's talk about stamp 1. So what is a stamp 1 and what is the procedure to get that stamp 1? So stamp 1 is actual your visa, the actual work permit they need to get to live over here, to work over here in Ireland. So I will talk about my journey as well from stamp 2 to stamp 1, but Yeah, before that, let's just discuss about stamp 1, like what is the procedure and various stuff. There are two types of stamp 1. One is stamp 1 general work permit, one is stamp 1 critical work permit. Now, what are the difference between two? So, stamp 1 critical is for 2 years, and after 2 years, you will get stamp 4, which is kind of a long term residency, or you can say permanent residency. And in stamp 1 general, you need to get 5 years of stamp 1 general, and after 5 years, either you can get a permanent residency or you can directly apply for citizenship as well. So that is the main difference between stamp 1 critical and stamp 1 general. Let's talk about stamp 1 critical. And all the things that I will talk about stamp 1 or critical or general, they both are same. Only difference is over here it is stamp 1 critical is for 2 years and stamp 1 general is for 5 years. In stamp 1 critical, you will directly get 2 years of work permit. In that scenario, you will have a letter, and then you need to renew your IRP card every year for 2 years. That's the thing in stamp 1 critical. In stamp 1 general, every year you need to renew your IRP card for 5 years, and yeah, I mean that's the only difference between these two. There is not much difference, but there are minor differences which you can read on the government website. Talk about stamp 1 critical. If you want to apply that particular thing, your company will provide you the stamp 1 critical either by directly applying for you, or else they will provide the documentation to you, and then using that particular documentation you can apply for yourself. Now, what is the difference between these two, like applying by yourself or your company will directly apply for you? First of all, the price for stamp 1 is 1,000 euros. So for 2 years, so let's say you pay 1,000 euros, then if your critical will approve, then you will get the letter. Using that particular letter, you need to go to the local Garda station or local immigration bureau, and then you get your IRP card. And the price for IRP card is 300 euros. So you need to renew that IRP card for 2 years. So it will be 600 euros. So technically 1600 euros for your entire critical skill visa. And same for the general work permit, but for 5 years. So that's the difference, and that's the price for the stamp 1. Once you're applying for stamp 1, let's say you are applying for yourself, and then in that scenario, you need company documentation. So the company will sign your work permit. They will provide that particular thing to you. Then you need to go to the website, government website, and to fill the entire details. Some parts about the company also you need to fill, and it might be possible that you don't know about that, and in that scenario you can just ask your company, and HR will help you for that. So that's the first thing. And then once your application is done, you can just apply, pay the 1,000 euro, wait for your results. Once you get your stamp 1 approved, you will get the letter. Take that letter plus your bank statement plus medical insurance plus your employment letter from your company. So take that all the documents, and you also need your passport. Take all the things, go to the Garda station or immigration bureau and get your IRP card, that is stamp 1 IRP card. So yeah, that's the scenario about stamp 1. And after 1 year, you again need to take the same documents, and the letter will be same because that letter is for 2 years. The dates will be there in that letter only. So take that thing again after 1 year and again get stamp 1 IRP card. So that's the procedure for stamp 1. And now in second scenario where the company is applying for you, in that case also the procedure for IRP card is same, but in that case company will ask your details, all the details, and they will apply for you. Once it is approved, the company will get the letter, and then they will pass that particular letter to you, and then the same procedure, letter plus passport plus your employment letter plus your bank statement and your medical insurance. You need to gather all the document and go to the Garda station or immigration bureau, get your stamp 1 IRP card. In stamp 1 critical, you can engage in some portion of the business. You can work over here full time, and even if you have, let's say, your wife or if you have children, then you can take them with you. So that's the scenario about critical skill visa. And same is for general work permit. Either company will apply for you or you can apply for yourself, and same stuff for the IRP card. So that's the difference between stamp 1 critical and stamp 1 general. Now let me know if I'm missing any point over here. If you have any questions or anything, you can just put that particular thing in the comment section down below. I will answer over there in detail. And more upon that, let's talk about my story, like how I got stamp 1 critical.
Maybe there's no love like the maybe there's no love like the.
So now let's talk about my story. Like all the students, I got my visa in India. I came over here, applied for my IRP card, and I got my stamp 2, which was valid for from September 2019 to September 2020, and then I started my masters. Now this COVID thing came when I was in second semester. After half completion of the second semester, the COVID thing started and it was complete lockdown. So I was just sitting free and there was nothing to do because the classes were online and it was new for us. And then after completion of second semester, yeah, we get to know that we can apply for stamp 1G and yeah, we can just start applying for job. But at that same time, the COVID thing was there and the job market was not great. I mean, it was very bad. And then yeah, we decided that we'll not apply for stamp 1G and then we'll wait for third semester. So after completion of third semester in September, I applied for my stamp 1G because obviously September 30 was the deadline, because last date for my stamp 2 was September 30. So I applied and then I got my stamp 1G. After getting the stamp 1G, I started applying for a job. But again, the job market was not good. I was getting the interview calls, but then once I tell them that I'm in my stamp 1G, I need a sponsorship to stay over here for long period, they just don't reply on that. So that was the thing going on. And then yeah, then on January, I got an interview call from one company that is where I'm working currently. So if you want to check my profile, you can just go to LinkedIn and you can check that thing. Link will be there in the description. So I got a call. I gave the interview. There were 3 rounds: technical, one more development round, and third one was the kind of a management plus technical round. And then I got an offer from them. And then once they called me that you got selected, I was in India, so I asked them that I'm coming back to Ireland and then I can start the job. And then will you be able to sponsor my visa or not? So they were like, we'll do that particular thing, but there are some things in that which you'll get to know soon once you will join the company. At that moment, we didn't have any job, so I just accepted that particular thing and I started my job over here in Ireland. Now, after 3 or 4 days only, I got a mail from HR that there are 2 things. Either you can apply right now if you want. In that scenario, we will give you the documentation. You can apply for yourself. Again, if you want to wait for your stamp 1G to expire, in that scenario, we will apply for you. So in that scenario, you need to wait till your stamp 1G. So I was like, no, it's okay. I can apply for myself and I will pay the amount. So you just give me the documentation. So yeah, they gave me the documentation. But once you are applying for stamp 1 critical, you need to mention, there is one question in that form, that why you think that this particular job or whatever you are doing over here, that is critical, that is related to critical, or for that you need critical. So you need to justify that thing in a proper way. You need to mention a lot of things over there. You need to mention all the things that you are doing in technical form. So I am a cloud engineer, so I need to mention that why it is required right now and why it is critical. So in that question, actually, I didn't feel anything. It was blank for me. Why? Because I asked my HR that what I need to put over here, and they were like, we will discuss that particular thing later, but right now. So it's kind of once you are filling that particular form, you will get your code for that form and passcode for that form. So you can pass that particular thing to anyone else and you can combinedly fill the form. So I passed that details to my HR. They were filling the details that are related to company, and I was filling the details which are kind of personal. Okay, so like my passport number and my date of birth and the personal details. But then I was confused about this thing where this question, like, why you think that your job is critical. So I didn't feel anything, and then HR also forget or anything, I don't know, but then we just applied, and obviously it was blank, so we got rejection. So I got a rejection for my stamp on critical, and the reason was mentioned over there that because of this particular thing that it is blank, so we can't give you critical. And that's a very reason, to be honest, because that was my mistake, and yeah, that was the thing. After that, I asked my manager that this is the thing that is going on right now, and what we can do in that. Because once you get a rejection, you have two options. One, within 28 days, either reapply for that thing, or else just get a refund. Now you paid 1,000 euros. Once you will apply for refund in that 28 days, you will get 900 euros back. So 100 euros will be the amount that will cut for that procedure. So that's the scenario. So I asked my manager that what can I do on that, and my manager asked me that just wait, we are doing something from our side and we'll let you know within a week. In that scenario, I was waiting, and then my manager called me that we hired a consultancy. Now company will provide you the stamp on critical. You don't need to worry about anything. You can just apply for a refund. Now everything will be handled by the company. So I was like, yeah, that's great. So, and then they asked me few details, few personal details, like consultancy person. He asked me few details, and then the next step I know is I got my letter, the stamp on critical. Okay, so yeah, they did everything. They filled my form, they paid amount and everything, and then I had my letter. And then the same procedure, I went to the guard assessment. I got my hierarchy card. So yeah, that's the journey from stamp 2 to stamp 1 critical. So important lesson from this is that once you are filling your stamp 1 critical, be aware that put every details, each and every details in each and every question. And once you're writing that particular thing, be more specific what you are doing. Okay, let's say if they are asking that the main question for which I got the rejection, that question was like, why you think that your job is critical? So in that scenario, the consultancy person, he wrote this much big answer, okay, in a technical form. So you need to mention as much as you can in a technical level, and you need to mention that if you are selected for this particular role, then why you got this job. Okay, you have certain certification, you did certain internship, or you have this much experience. So you need to mention everything, and then you apply for stamp 1 critical. So that was my story from stamp 2 to stamp 1 critical, and right now I am on my stamp 1 critical. So if you want to ask me any question about that, you can just put that particular thing as well in comment section down below. I will answer in detail over there, or you can just connect me any of the social media, and yeah, I will talk about that over there as well. So that's the scenario. This video is quite long, but I hope it's informative. And if you have any questions, queries, do let me know in the comment section down below. I will answer over there, and we'll see you guys in next video. Till then, take care, stay safe. Bye bye.